Welcome to Get Biz, Do Biz, Get Pay. I am your host, Luan the Don. We're gonna find out what it really takes to win in the construction industry. What it really takes to make a lot of money, have a great life, and be able to do the thing that you wanted to do. Enjoy. My guest here, she flew in all the way from Texas, Caitlin.
Hey.
And we're gonna talk about what does it actually take to brand a company in the construction industry. And Caitlin just kind of went around, see a little bit of behind the scene of what does building a brand actually mean, and what does it mean to me, right? And we're gonna talk a little bit about how that plays into if you want to get your name out there, if you want more repeat, more referrals, if you want more reviews, how we're going to actually accomplish that, and how do we actually, um, uh, you know, take the business beyond sales and marketing, because what happened after that really is the execution. So we're going to talk about what is the brand loop, how to create a brand loop where client keep on referring client, talk about other client, or even just buy more from you, right? So we're gonna go through all that today. So tune in. Welcome to Omaha, Caitlin.
So glad to be here. It's been so cool to watch how your team works, how the business works from the back end. I've had the privilege to be, on a little bit on the team, and so being able to now see how everything else works has been such a cool experience.
What is a brand? Can you give me your definition? What is a brand?
My definition of a brand is when people, and it's kind of the same that you do. I've heard you say this, but when people are excited about your business for you, when you have Bob commenting on your post and is like, yeah, this is the best company ever. When others are building your reputation for you instead of it just being you. When they're sharing your posts, they're, put like you do with door knockers and signs, they're putting them out and willing to and wanting to and part of that process because you have just done such a great job with the client experience. You've done such a great job of communicating and building that momentum that then it becomes its own momentum of its own, because now you have people everywhere talking about how to build, how great Deck Bros is, how great this company is. That's my definition.
So it's not really something tangible we can define within one sentence, right? To
Mm-mm.
me, brand, and I don't know who say this, but brand equal reputation, time awareness. So
Mm-hmm.
you need reputation
Mm-hmm.
and you need awareness, and you need to multiply those things together to have a strong and lasting brand. So, so the part where people get right is the awareness. Oh, I gotta let people know about my stuff.
Yeah.
I gotta grab the truck. I gotta run some ad. I gotta advertise. I gotta do your side. I gotta do all that. That's great. All that is great. Anybody can do that,
Yeah.
right? But then the other part where people don't might not focus on a lot is your reputation.
Mm-hmm.
Because if your reputation is negative, what's something time negative?
Yeah, it
It's
makes more negative.
it's make more negative. So we actually only want to put awareness on the positive. And it's not like we're gonna hide our negative, but we're gonna minimize our negative, right? We wanna only gonna portray the part where it's appealing to the buyer.
Well, and part of that too is like when something negative does happen, how do you handle it, right?
Right.
So are you going, oh yeah, you know what, sorry, didn't really follow through on that, or are you going, you know what, let me make this right for you, walking through the process and going to that next level, right?
Yeah.
And so it's owning your part too, and not going, oh, it's just this client's picky, or oh, this is this, right? It's taking that extreme ownership and showing your client that, hey, I'm willing to show up and go above and beyond for you, right?
So really, to me, in the construction industry, building a brand is really just building your reputation.
Hmm.
Okay, and now let's dive into that. How you build a good reputation?
Well, you start by doing what you say you're going to do. You literally
Wh-
start. I know that's easy,
What does
but
that mean though?
it means that if you say you're going to deliver, so for example, I'll use decks because you do decks. So if you're like, hey, Bob, I'm going to deliver, if we are going to build this 14 by 14 deck, we're going to start on Tuesday, right? Now you show up on Tuesday on time, or, if you can't, you call them, you communicate, and you're like,
Hmm.
hey, you know what? I know I said I'd show up here, but this is the change of time. I own that. That's on us. You don't go, oh, there, you don't put it on them. You own it. And so by building that reputation that you are someone that does what they say, but also follows through and communicates past that, that will differentiate you from the people that are like, oh yeah, I'll show up sometime on Friday, right? Giving them a definitive hour or window, being able to follow through, but also having a reputation of delivering excellence, right? So if you are deliver on time, but your job is shit, that's not going to help either. But if you own it, again, if you're like, oh yeah, we messed that up, that builds the reputation just as much as a positive review.
So let's unpack this a little bit. There is that doing what you say you're gonna do. That means showing up when you say you will show up. Um, doing a good job doing what you pay to do, and where you don't, make sure you proactively communicate that to the client, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's another layer here that we need to unpack. So when you say that we need to show up when we say we need to communicate, and people don't realize this, but it's take a hell of a lot of system and processes, and this is where people give up, right? People
Mm-hmm.
say, "Oh, I'll just build a brand. I'll just put
Mm-mm.
my name out there," and but they don't realize the execution behind it. So
Yes.
to me, in my opinion, a good brand, that means the whole team behind them that execute daily in and out. What do you think?
I agree 100%. Like everyone needs to be on the same page of like, hey, this is the mission, this is the goal. But also the back end, like you said, you have to have the right systems in place. Like something we're doing, for example, in my business right now is I realized there was a gap in communication. And so now what we're doing is we're filling that gap. We're building a ClickUp dashboard, right? Because that's one of the things that there has to be a system that is able to basically monitor what's the team's doing, what you're doing, and how everyone is working together, and also monitoring when a client has a complaint, when something comes up, because then things fall in the cracks if you don't.
Talk about so you build your brand, you do good work, people like it, people want to come back, people want to give you referrals, people want to give you repeat. That's all great, but how do we formalize those process? Is there a way, a set of decision making uh, process for your team to follow to basically set a behavior to shape your brand? Is there, do you think there's a standardized way where we can implement it to our team?
Some, yes. I actually believe that each brand is different. Each brand has a different messaging style. Each brand has a different um, cohesive language to it. And so we have like when we go to dive into a brand, for example, I'm looking at okay, how many team members do we have? Are they actively involved? Are they, in pictures? Are they, going and asking for more business? Are they dealing with the referrals, stuff like that? You can systemize that. Yes, you can systemize like having a system that does all that. But there also has to be a human element that is specific to your brand, that is your own life taking of, because that's what makes you different, right? So if you're the same system, same type every single time, then you're going to look like everyone else.
I think what I should rephrase that question a little bit more clearly, but I think what I'm trying to get at is there's every brand has a set of value,
Oh, yes.
some core values,
Oh,
there's a
absolutely.
mission, and there's a vision to the brand. So to me, uh, for my team to execute on the highest level, they have to be aligned
Oh,
in the
yes.
company core value. they have to be aligned in the company mission, and they got have to be able to communicate that value, communicate that vision to the client, and act in a way that align with the core value, and then your value will be portrayed to the world. And I think that is gonna
Yes.
make you memorable,
Yes.
make people make you unforgettable, and will turn people into raving fan instead of just a client. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree 100%. I actually like I won't work with a business that doesn't have a mission and core values anymore because it is that important to a brand. If the team doesn't know what your core values are, if the team doesn't know how you operate, how can you expect them to deliver that brand to your clients? How can you expect them to live your brand and breathe it if they don't know what the basis of the brand is? It's like the core of it all.
Let's bring it back to brand execution.
Mm-hmm.
So we agree that it's not just a logo, it's not just saying we're gonna do what work. It's actually living out your core values, actually doing what you say you're gonna do. It's actually execute and follow through. So really, to me, marketing and sales is 20%, and brand is the other 80% that's going to elevate. If you're looking into scalability, uh, scalability, if you want to grow, if you want to multiply a location, if you want to hire more people, then having a good brand will help from recruiting to marketing to sales, because the brand sell for you
Mm-hmm.
without you knowing about it. So building a brand is, to me, it's just execution.
Yeah. It makes everything easier when you have a strong brand because people know how from how you act, how your team shows up, how everybody presents themselves, what your core values are without you even saying them. Because you have gotten people that are on the same trajectory, believe in the same mission as you, and you get even better people after that because they see the momentum. They hear, "Oh yeah, I've heard about Deck Bros. Oh yeah, I've heard about this, especially for brick and mortar businesses, because it's like, oh yeah, Bob got a deck next door. I would love to work for Deck Bros, right? Like they did such a good job. They took care of him and they took care of their team. Like I saw, their manager out there helping the team on site. Those kind of things. You don't realize they have an impact, even if it's not online. Like it just builds your reputation up.
Earlier, I had a marketing agency call me that say they're not a marketing agency. I'm like, "Oh, what are you?" Oh, we're a branding agency. I'm like, oh, okay. you know. Uh, so uh, so I let them go on for a little too long, but they went on. Wow, your brand has not been seen by a lot of people here. Nobody know you exist. You only exist. I'm like, so I'm in my head. They're doing their job, but at the same time, I know that our brand works
Mm-hmm.
because we got a ton of repeats, a ton of referrals, a ton of like neighborhood domination. If the neighbor buy from us, there's other people that's gonna buy from us,
Mm-hmm.
right? So you can kind of see the attribution is like, oh, who can we thank for referrals? Oh, it's my buddy from work. Oh, who might that be? Oh, and we come to find out it's one of the client we did the job for 6 months ago. So we got a lot of our leads, and as I build this over the years, we start getting more and more referrals, more repeat, and that's one of the things that how I measure how's the brand is working. And then when your brand is strong, it's kind of, if people don't know about your brand yet, if your brand is strong enough and people talk about it enough, then you're gonna be brand impressed. Get brand impressed, maybe in the Facebook group. Hey, who you know that get the deck done for who you know that build deck? Deck Pro, Deck Pro, Deck Pro,
Yeah,
Deck Pro, Deck
we
Pro.
see it all the time.
You see it all the time. It's because we have such a strong pool. You want to build a strong brand, make people talk about you when you're not there.
Yeah.
Because if I'm sitting here, I'm saying Dak Bro's the best. Dak Bro's the best. Who's gonna believe me? I sound like an idiot.
Yeah, if you're the only one talking about it, like people are gonna look at you and go like, according to you, like
Yeah.
where's your proof? Like where are your deliverables? And that's where having clients that are excited about your brand, and then, if you do put up a post something about that and they're commenting under it or sharing it, then all of a sudden your post got proof, social proof from other people that worked with you.
One of the ad that I'm running, there's like 30 people commenting on it. Great company,
Yeah.
great company, great company, great company. Oh my God, they just did out there such a great experience, such a great experience, such a great experience. And it's an ad set on Facebook, so there's like 30 pictures like that, and every single one of them, there's one client went out there and vouched for me. You don't think those ads gonna sell better than the one just generic ad?
Mm.
You deadly wrong.
Yeah, no kidding. I 100% agree. One of my biggest pet peeves, and the reason why we've switched to like on-sites and stuff like that, is when everything is cookie cutter, not personalized, things like that, because those aren't the ones people comment on. And so being able to have, a backing of 30 clients that are like, yes, and stuff like that, and, having proof of like pictures of decks, things like that, having door knockers, seen signs all over Omaha that, like, wow, they got a deck by Deck Bros too. I should probably call them. Like, that all attributes to the brand.
How do people start in their early journey to actually build that reputation, build that brand out? What's some actionable step that they can take?
So first, get really clear on your mission and core values, like you said. Like that's the very first step you should take, because if you try to build your brand on, sand where you're not really sure what your brand is, what you believe in, stuff like that, it's never going to skyrocket. It's never going to take off. The second thing I would recommend is going and networking, and then also start posting and start putting content out that reflects your mission, and not from a place of like we're the best like you said, but educating them, entertaining them, making them laugh at something, making them feel something, putting a heartwarming story about a client, starting there. And then, like you said too, going out and, if you're in a brick and mortar and you're a contractor, maybe you're door knocking, but you're going to take those steps to start building. And then the next step is executing. Once you've executed, then you can ask for that referral, and that's when the cycle starts.
Yeah, I love how you lay that out. To me, everything is branding, right? From the
Mm-hmm.
moment that they pick up the phone and call you or put in a form on the internet. So you gotta make a good impression on your website. You gotta make a good impression online. You gotta make a good impression when you pick up the phone or when you call people, and then when you show up, how's the PM look? How's the guy look?
Mm-hmm.
Everything gotta be congruent to your brand messaging, right? Every interaction is a chance to make a brand impression,
Exactly.
right? I think this people miss this a lot, but I follow the first law of first impression and law of recency. So law of first impression say that the first impression is probably the thing that people most remember you about. So try to make that first impression spectacular.
Yeah.
And the law of recency say that if you leave people with a good lasting impression, they're probably gonna remember you by that. So they remember the first time you meet somebody and the last time you interact with somebody. So you might you might have a good first impression, but if you fucked up throughout the whole job, but if you make it right, I mean, you could have a good lasting impression.
Yeah.
People
It
gotta remember that.
Not the
People,
fuck ups in between. They're
yeah,
gonna be like, oh my gosh, like they made it right and they went above and beyond, like you guys do with the Raven fans
yeah.
program. You guys do handwritten notes. You do all of that that
Oh,
comes in afterward.
you're giving out all the way a secret.
Hey, but like if you have something like that in each brand that is like that, for us, we do, oh, we'll gift an on-site, we'll do something like that where we're letting our clients know, hey, like we see you and we want to help you elevate more, because that the way you leave people, they remember.
Yeah. So back in the casino day, one of the mentors told me that nobody gonna remember how much money they spent with you. but everybody is going to remember how you make them feel.
Hmm.
So brand is emotional. It's an emotional promise.
It is.
Brand is a promise, and luxury brand mean comfort. So going on this concept. If you want to be your brand to be luxury, how comfortable are you making your client? Is
Hmm.
it a stress-free environment or is it a stressful environment?
Yeah, like
Right?
show like you guys when I saw like yesterday we went on site, it was very apparent. Like you guys are so good at communicating. I kept hearing over and over again, like, these guys are great. They've communicated all this, like it, and so by having that, oh, you know what? I don't need to worry. They didn't have to worry. They could sit back and relax because they knew everything was being taken care of. Just like you said, comfortable. They were comfortable because they knew it was handled. Like even if something does come up, they still are cool because you guys have done that communicating. And so building that brand, building that awareness, and knowing that even if their neighbor, let's say they got a duck, and they're like, well, they did so good by them. I know they'll take care of it. Like there's so many things that build trust within that people don't realize.
I think this is one of the things that missing in the construction industry is sometimes we are being too transactional. Sometimes we are just thinking, oh, I'm gonna pick up a check from you, job number 2100, 2200, pick up a check from you, I'm done with your ass, right? So, and that is such a big missed opportunity because 2200, her name is Carol, and Carol happened to lead the biggest church that high income that had a bunch of high income people in there that happened to need a deck. But you just forgot about Carol. Even though you just got her deck done, it looks great. But there's something that you did that she might not like that much, but you didn't know because you didn't follow up with her, right? So one of the things that we do implement in our business that had a tremendous amount of feedback and value to us is the closeout call.
Mm-hmm.
We have somebody audit and production call the client asking for constructive feedback, and we sit there and we take it into our face and we use that information and we improve. The next interaction, well, maybe you shouldn't do that again, but then it's offer the client one more chance without embarrassment, without conflict, for us to turn that service into a 5 star.
Yeah, because there are so many people out there that, won't say something unless they're asked, right? And that's something I saw yesterday too, is like every client that we went to, like someone was asking, are you happy with it? Anything else I can make this better with? Like those questions were being asked throughout the process. And by asking the simple question, like you said, at the end or in between, saying, what else? You're actually making it easier on yourself because now you can fix that problem before it goes and escalates to, a legal battle or something else. But also now they are like, wow, they want to really do a good job for me and they really want to take care of me. I'm going to go tell Carol over here about it, right?
So you see, these are not. Oh my God, they must have some secret in brand buildings, and if you tune in, you hope me to give you some secret. It's not. There's no secret here. Everything I do is simple. Everything I do is classic client experience shit. Classic customer service that we might not have in the construction industry. It's these thing in the hospitality industry. It's a norm. It's a norm to take care of your client from A to Z. It's a norm to follow up and asking them if they want to stay another night. And why don't we do that in the construction industry? So when I found out my buddy was doing a quarterly gifting, I signed up right away. I was one of his first clients.
Mhm.
Uh, and now we're starting reaping the fruit of that because we stay on top of mine every quarter, right?
Yeah.
And then I don't ask for anything. I just send them a gift, say thank you. And the funniest thing happened. They start buying. They start calling back. They start giving their neighbor's name because I didn't ask for anything. I didn't send them a blank check asking for three to four. I just send them a thank you note. And law of reciprocity take over, right?
Yeah.
because now they want to do something nice for me. And when what's nice to do for a deck guy, probably more deck job,
Yeah.
right? But you have to do it with an intention of showing gratitude, showing love to your client. So this go back to the law of recency thing. So if people are gonna remember the last impression that they leave on you, why not just have multiple lasting impression?
Yeah.
Multiple way of elicit that emotional response. So people are more apt, more fond of your brand because their word is 300 times better than my word.
Oh, 100%. 100%. It's the separator between those who stay small and those that continue to scale.
How to build a brand, a lasting brand in construction? That summarizes: do what you say you're gonna do, make a promise, keep a promise, get into that brand loop where you do such a good job, people are gonna keep referring you, and the third thing is focus on execution. You know, every single touch point is an opportunity to for a brand impression, and don't forget after the job is done, make sure that you stay on top of mind. And if you can't hire somebody to send a gift, shit, sit down, write a handwritten note. Go out to Costco and buy a bunch of small little gift at $10 each and start manually sending them. Just make sure people remember you. Make you unforgettable. And then you know the funny thing happen is when you send these periodically gift, if they have a callback or something, they gonna give you a little grace.
Mm-hmm.
And they're gonna manage those callback for you
Mm-hmm.
because now you kind of paying them to manage it for you, so they're gonna give you a little bit more grace in terms of return, and so it does a lot of things, and it's keep your customer base active too. It's cheaper than running any kind of ad. But if you want to run ads, so that's how we run ads. We do
Mm-hmm.
a lot of things, but the thing that we do, one of the marketing quadrant that we do is we're focusing on our existing client because those they already know your brand, and those are the best people to spread your brand around.
Yeah, I agree. Most of the clients that we get, like, we get some through social media, but some of the best ones we get are through referrals, and it's the same thing.
So make people talk about you when you're not in the room. That's it. I mean, and just one sentence to sum up how to build a brand in the construction industry, how to build a brand anywhere, how to build a personal brand too. Make sure that people talk about you in the room, and I should add a caveat to that. Talk about you in a positive manner
Mm-hmm.
because you can talk about Kim Kardashian too, but it's not positive in
Mm-mm.
it. So,
Yep.
Caitlin, any word?
No, I'm just so grateful to have gotten this opportunity to come down here and spend time with y'all and be able to get some content and behind the scenes. Been part of this for a few years, and now I got to see how you actually operate, and it's amazing the business and the brand you guys have been building.
You believe the rumor that I don't do anything?
Oh, guys, if anyone thinks that's a thing, I can tell you from personal experience, this guy works harder than anyone I know. Dude, like was doing 8 things at once yesterday, like all day long, and then he's like, I'm a little tired. I'm like, no shit. Like, yeah, you have to do the work. That's the other part. If you want the brand to build itself, it's not going to really work.
Okay, so add that to the list. Do the work. And this thing is not simple. I mean, this thing is simple,
Not
but it's
easy.
not easy. You know, I'm not a designer. I don't know how to build a logo. I don't know how to do this, but I can guarantee you, if you do what you say you're gonna do, if you follow your core value, if you make sure that people don't forget about you, if you take care of your current client and your past client, I promise you, riches is gonna come your way. There is client that have bought from me 5 times in a matter
Hmm.
of 5 years. So every year they buy something. Isn't that crazy? And there's people that bring me 10 clients. So that's from one client. So what does this mean? It means that my acquisition cost is low, and I can take a bunch of money and toss it in marketing. I can hire Caitlin right here. I can hire Eddie Boca. I can hire Clifton Muckenfoos. I can hire Cal Reed, and I can blanket the market with my messaging.
Yeah.
And then and from those clients that I got new, I would take those clients and I will use my brand power to convert them to stay in my ecosystem. That's how the game is done.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just throwing money at marketing. Yeah, it's not just having a sales process. Those are 20%. The 80% of the work is in branding. And branding that's is execution, no more, no less. And And if you listen to me, I gave you some actionable tip. Make sure you have that closeout call. Make sure you stay on top of mind for the client. And even if here's why the closeout call is so great. Even if you fucked up, you had a chance to do it right all over again. And you know what? Those may be a better deal. Maybe a better lead generator for you in the future because there's so much up and down happen and there's a story there, right? There's a conflict, there's a resolution of conflict, there's a story that, hey, you are just like, if you worry about, you are just like my client Mary, who ended up giving us 10 referrals
Mm-hmm.
throughout a year. But with Mary, we forgot to put in the permit, which royally screwed it up. But I we take responsibility. We
Mm-hmm.
come back. We make it right for Mary, and Mary has been our greatest fan since then. See how that works?
Mm-hmm.
See how easy? Not easy, but you see, there is always a way out of a bad interaction.
Mm-hmm.
So do the service recovery right. You'll thank me. All right, I'm out. And in the next episode, I want to teach you a little bit about marketing. Not a lot, a little bit. Well, thank you so much for tuning in. If you find this episode helpful or if it changed your life in a positive way in any manner, please share with another friend, tell another friend about this podcast. Again, thank you. Until next time.